Hi everyone and welcome. I recently came across this interesting clip of ex-Muslim atheists Harris Sultan and Nuria Khan praising practices and customs within the Christian church. Here is the clip.
To be fair, some of the practices are fun. I enjoy them. Even as a
I don't mind.
non-Christian ex-Muslim, I wouldn't mind sitting through mass like around Christmas time with a nice mulled wine afterwards. That sounds like a nice
I
evening.
love it.
I know.
I love the Christian architecture. Like, I mean, every time I
I
go to
know.
Europe, I
Cathedrals
love going
and
to.
churches are mad fascinating too, right? And the stained glass
Oh yeah,
windows and like there's just so much. And half the time you are like deciphering codes, like ancient things left by people in these nooks
yeah,
and crannies of these churches. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and you're not separated from men outright, which I guess is also nice.
It's interesting to see Harris Sultan and Nuria Khan say this given that they are both ex-Muslim atheists who are staunchly against religion in general, which includes Christianity. However, there were still certain aspects of Christian churches that they found praiseworthy. Nuria says that some of the practices in Christian churches are fun and that she wouldn't mind to sit in Mass and drink wine during Christmas time. Harris and Nuria both praise the aesthetics in the church. Harris in particular says that he loves the architecture. Not to mention, Nuria says that it's nice that men and women are not separated in church, and I'm inferring that she said this because men and women are separated in the mosque. My experience of going to the mosque in my childhood and teenage years wasn't a great experience. Not only were men and women separated, but everyone there had to recite the Quran loudly. We weren't allowed to talk to each other most of the time, nor were we allowed to use our phones. If we talked and got caught, we had to stand up and stare at a wall for an indefinite amount of time. Our recitation of the Quran had to be reasonably accurate, and whenever we made mistakes, the Maulana would get really mad. He would shout at us and tell us off if we weren't reciting the Quran properly. There were many times where my Maulana smacked me on the head and slapped my fingers with a pen. In fact, there was this one time where I was reading a Quran verse and made a recitation mistake that changed the meaning so drastically that my Maulana slapped my head so hard that my topi went flying off and subsequently told me to go to the corner and say Astaghfirullah 70 times. This is actually a common phenomenon in Desi mosques and it's considered normal in these mosques. And I've only given superficial details about my experience in the mosque. This isn't to say that Christian churches are perfect. They do have their problems, but they don't implement the same strict, rigid rulings. My experience going to the church was very liberating because the church is a lot more lenient and reasonable. Thank you all for listening. Please make sure to like this video and share it with others.